Alright, today we're gonna kick off our tailgate tool talk. We just kind of wanted to show everyone kind of the hacks to RV, camping, trailer, pulling, tools that we keep on the truck every day, and we figured that what better off than to start out with showing you our new and improved improvised Harbor Freight U.S. General Toolbox mod that we did to keep our tools at all times. We've been putting them in the passenger seat, leaving the impact, rolling around. You need a socket, of course. It's under the seat, just wasting time. And whenever you need it, you can't find it. And so we were at our local Harbor Freight in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, about 2 weeks ago, and we saw a toolbox up front for returns. It is an open box. We talked to the manager. The manager said that it had a dent and the guy didn't want it, so we were able to pick it up for $100, relatively cheap. And it's not the 5 drawer that everyone else uses, but it's the 4 drawer. And actually, the 5 drawer would have been too high if we would have done it. So, kind of thinking, we were like, man, what can we do to keep our tools organized? And a toolbox that you put in the bed of the truck wouldn't do what we needed it to do, keep our tools organized. So we had a little improvising, a little brainstorming, and just kind of show you guys what we did in order to keep our tools organized, to create space in the bed of the truck, keep stuff from rolling around inside the cab while driving, and help better organize us and make everything a little bit more feasible for setting up RVs, campers, and doing basic roadside work that we might need, or troubleshooting. So I'll show you all a little bit of how we did it and what tools we use to do it. And if you like the idea, make sure to leave a comment, let us know. But over this mini series, what we'll be doing is kind of highlighting the tools that we use every day, what kind of what we like about them, what we don't like about them, and hopefully you will enjoy this little mini series that we're going to do for you all. All right, so we'll get into it. We were lucky enough to have the instructions. However, the instructions didn't really do us any good because we were going to chop it up and make it work for our specific application. But it did give us a good idea of how everything was supposed to go together, and how the finished product should look if it was a complete system. A couple of the differences that we noticed just kind of in the store was that the 4 drawer versus the 5 drawer was a little less strong. The slides and on the toolbox didn't feel as strong, but for our purposes and the cost of the toolbox, we figured it was worth a shot to see if it would work. So what we ended up doing, I'll show you real quick. Putting the box together itself was not that difficult. what we ended up doing is cutting approximately 13 inches off of the support leg that goes down, and it would continue on downward right about here. So we cut off that much, and then the bottom pan sits in there as it would if it was normal. The only difficulty that we had was whenever we went to put it all together, the bottom screwdriver holders would not didn't want to line up as easy, so I pretty much just had to put those in and use the drill to tighten up the nuts, and it was flimsy enough metal by itself, and then once we used the impact to tighten it all down, it did a fantastic job with securing it together. We've rode around with it in the back of the truck for about a week. Haven't really noticed any flimsiness in it. Been overall happy with it. Once we cut the legs off, the only other thing that we had to do is shim off a small piece right here, probably about 1/8 of an inch. Was able to do that with a standard sawzall. You could have done it with a die grinder, a cut-off wheel, any kind of cut-off mechanisms, or you could have just used it with an old hacksaw. It took a long time, but you could have got it done. And then to secure it in the bottom of to secure it to the truck, we used self-tapping screws. Just ran it through the pre-drill holes in the bottom pan for the wheels and mounted it on like that. So far we've been very happy with it. Haven't noticed any issues. Reading a lot of the reviews, people said they had issues with the barrel locks not being as getting stuck in there, not wanting to turn. We haven't had any issues like that. Haven't seen anything like that from right now, but it's only been a week since we put it in. So one of the biggest reasons we went with something like this is because of the tunnel cover. It's a lock and roll system, and it sits about 1 inch lower than the truck bed rails. So finding something that was under 28 inches was kind of hard, but this system seems to work pretty good so far. And tune in next week and we'll give you another review of our TailGate tool talk with Open Trails Rentals.